know these names: Satya Nadella, Nelson Mandela, Phil Jackson. Different industries, different eras, different personalities. But if you study them closely, there's something consistent. It shows up when the pressure hits, when they're challenged, when they're wrong, when the room turns. They all have this, and most leaders don't. You can't fake it. You can't borrow it. You either build it or you spend your entire career compensating for not having it. I'm Dr. Cara, and I've spent 25 years as a psychotherapist and executive coach. I have sat with leaders at the top of healthcare systems, corporations, and global organizations, and I watched this pattern show up in every single one of them. Today, I'm giving you 3 keys. By the end, you'll know whether you're leading from them or if you're trying to control around them. And if you want to work through this in real time, I built my virtual mind for exactly that. A thinking partner trained in leadership psychology, available 24/7. The link is in the description. Let's go. When Satya Nadella stepped into Microsoft, the culture rewarded one thing: being the smartest voice in the room, proving, posturing, competing internally. It was quietly killing the company. He shifted the entire culture from know-it-all to learn-it-all. But here's the moment that defined him. He made a very public mistake around pay equity for women in tech, on the record in front of the entire industry. Instead of managing his perception, he stayed open. He owned it publicly. He underwent bias training. He changed company policy. That only happens when your value isn't fragile, when your worth isn't tied to being right, rather tied to being real. Under his leadership, Microsoft's market cap more than tripled, not because he was louder, but because he was anchored. Think about the last time that someone questioned your decision in a room. What happened inside of you? Did you brace? Did you over-explain? Did you replay it that night, rewriting what you should have said instead? That reflex isn't weakness. It's an unexamined pattern, and it's quietly costing you. Here's the strategy. Next time feedback stings, before you respond, run 3 questions. What am I receiving? Not the story I'm making of it, but what actually happened. What am I perceiving? What judgment is surfacing? What threat does this feel like? How do I want to respond? Not how my ego wants to. How does the leader I'm becoming respond? Receive, perceive, respond. Your worth is not up for vote in that room. When you know that, you stop defending and start leading. If this is already landing, stay with me, because the next key is where I see even the strongest leaders quietly fall apart. Nelson Mandela walked out of prison after 27 years. 27 years, and at his inauguration as president, he invited his former prison guards. He called them his guard of honor. He didn't pretend the past didn't happen. He didn't lower his standards. He held both: the truth of what was done and the humanity of who did it. Grace isn't passive, it's regulated strength. It's the ability to hold excellence and humanity at the same time. Most leaders never find that place because they think they have to choose one over the other. Think about the last time someone on your team dropped the ball. What was your first internal move? Did frustration rise before you had the full picture? Did you move to correct before you fully understood what happened? That's not failure. That's a nervous system doing what nervous systems do. But connected leaders don't lead from reaction first. Before you address the behavior, get honest about your internal state. Ask yourself, am I reacting to what actually happened or to the threat that I feel underneath it? If the honest answer is the threat, regulate first, get grounded, and then respond. Grace doesn't lower the standard. It raises the quality of how you hold it. Correct with clarity, challenge with dignity. That's what people follow, not your authority, your character. Phil Jackson coached Michael Jordan, then Kobe Bryant, 2 of the most intense, high competitors of professional sports, 11 NBA championships. Here's what he said about how. The more I tried to exert power directly, the less powerful I became. So he stopped. He brought mindfulness into practice. He taught his players to surrender self-interest for collective performance. He focused on internal mastery of the moment, not the scoreboard. He controlled the one thing that was actually his own state, and that shaped everything around him. Control feels like leadership. It feels safe. It feels responsible. But most control is anxiety looking for somewhere to land. The tighter you grip, the less your team trusts you. The more you manage every detail, the more they stop thinking for themselves. Here's the strategy. When you feel the urge to control a situation, sort it into 2 columns. What's mine to influence? My tone, my clarity, my response, my presence. What's outside my influence? Other people's reactions, outcomes, how I'm judged. Every bit of your energy goes into the first column. That's not giving up. That's precision leadership. The only control that you truly have is how you receive, perceive, and respond. Here's what I want you to sit with. Most leaders leave a moment like this one feeling clear, and then they walk into the next hard conversation completely alone with it. No thinking partner, no framework to run it through, just their nervous system making decisions on their behalf. That's the gap my virtual mind fills. A real-time thinking partner trained in neuroscience, attachment theory, and leadership psychology, built for moments when you can't afford to lead from your nervous system. The link is in the description. Go there now. Because you don't have to lead alone. You can do what great leaders do, and that is receive, perceive, and respond with support.